All right. Welcome back, everyone. I was hoping I could start earlier tonight because I was trying to put my son to bed earlier, but unfortunately he wouldn't cooperate. Um, Tonight felt like a good time to resume playing. I skipped the last few nights because just to take a break and I've been very busy at work. Last night I just watched, Happy Gilmore 2 with my wife. Highly recommend, by the way, if you enjoyed enjoy the original. Don't expect a Academy award or anything, but just if you want to be entertained, I think you'll enjoy it. So, for those who have been following, Cradle has done very well in the last few challenges. And I wanted to discuss why I think that's the case. Even if you extend that out to your shout out to Kern, Testacular, who's got two challenges on elves, traditional glimpse, with Nettle Sentinel, top eights in the last couple of weeks as well. So including that, that's more or less five, I think, top eight challenges with Guy's Cradle recently. I'm gonna focus more primarily on the green black build. Well, I guess in a way, elves still counts as that, so it kind of applies. Um, so let's do it. Let's do that. Dive into why five guys Cradle decks have top eighted recently. Two from Curran, one from Upa, and then two other ones from one from Bomb and one from Grim. So elves aside, Upa top eighted the challenge on Wednesday, and I think probably should have won his quarterfinal match as well. He described a scenario where I think, in hindsight, was a misplay that cost him game two, I think, and then game three was a non game if my memory serves correctly. Now, obviously, the cool card here is Earthsign Monstrosity. He said it was quite bad for what it's worth. And he's not going to register that or anything similar again going forward. To me, the core is Wide of the Reliquary, Gaia's Cradle, the consistency cards, Once Upon a Time, Greenstone Zenith, and the Dorks to extent to kind of fulfill both. The new addition is Allosaurus Shepherd because, and when I say new, I use that in quotations because this is an old favorite, but I think lines up well now that we're playing Wide of the Reliquary. The last time I played this card was in a Fiend Artisan build, and Shepard doesn't play well with Fiend Artisan for multiple reasons. One, if you result a Fiend Artisan, all your stuff's uncounterable, quote unquote, anyways, because you just tutor them in. Two, they're both very mana intensive for their activated abilities. So usually you can only do one or the other. Meanwhile, Wide of the Reliquary unlocks your mana for Allosaurus Shepherd. So in a lot of ways, White plays so much better with Allosaurus Shepherd, and that's why I think the Elf package is worth it because one of the weaknesses of White is closing out the game when Bajuka Bog and Talon Gates are not relevant. Now, so for those who are curious, this deck, or at least our version, there's not that many pilots, especially for regular challenges. But the conversion rate for top eight is kind of crazy because of the low sample size. Like off the top of my head, it's something like close to 50%. Like the pilots who dare to play this deck or have the time to in a legacy normal challenge, more often than not, every other challenge they will top eight. And the example I'll use actually, let me make sure I'm using this correctly. There was a span in, I want to say, like March or so. Okay, here it is. I don't even know this person. Like aside from just interacting with them a few times for us, I don't know their, like I don't really know them well, but they went top eight, top eight, missed top eight. Sorry, top eight, and then some other one, and then I think I forget which after that, and then another top eight here, like three out of four or something like that. By contrast, on the Saturday event, there was two other Cradle pilots who top aided. One is in our Discord. They go by Bomb. Um, this is just like in my opinion, a ported depths list to green black. Now it shares a lot of commonality with us. Plays the mana dorks. Plays crop rotation in lieu of natural order. More on that in a second. Plays the Once Upon a Time package. Plays similar sideboard Urza Saga package. Force of Vigor, Snuff Out. Like it's almost like they took the natural order kill and just replaced it with a depth kill. Now, there's some advantages to that, I will say. Namely, you are better against Grafdigger's Cage. Crop rotation is a more modular card. It's graveyard hate as well, or can find a wasteland to stop some of these planar nexus decks. So there are some advantages. The disadvantage is you have to play more clunkers. So what I mean by that is Sajiri Step, like Dark Depths and Thespian Stage are like quite awkward to draw. Um, like sometimes Wasteland's not even good. Echoing Deeps, like there's just a lot more clunky hands, but not as clunky as probably the green white depths list. And I think it all around probably just a better all around deck in my opinion. I'm biased, obviously. To me, this is like if you like I said, you didn't want to kill with natural order, so you're killing with depths. But there's a lot of commonality. This list here, oops, wrong one. So they top aided with the same one as Bomb in the Saturday challenge, and not so hot here in the Sunday challenge. I think I'm biased. I think this deck is just like a worse version of our list. What I mean by that is, and ignoring the elf package for a second, why would you want to cut Gaia's Cradle for a more situational card in Wasteland? Granted, disruption, but more situational, and doesn't produce green, only good against some decks. And you don't have an over the top kill now. You don't have a way to kill your opponent in a stalemate, so to speak, right? Like sometimes you can do cat and like make a big cat. If you have a white out, you're winning anyway, majority of the time. Now, there's an argument to be made Reclaimer helps cat. Now that's true, but Reclaimer is a decent standalone card as well, and cat by itself is kind of bad. And for what it's worth, they had not top aided until Saturday. And it was only because they finally made the right decision, in my opinion. Let me click on this list that they 5 would with. To cut Orcish Bowmaster. Again, more situational cards. It to me in Legacy, you can't just play a soup, if you want to call it that, of quote unquote generically good cards. And I heavily dispute that this is a good card for what it's worth. I think if you're a non-blue deck, you should be beating the blue decks regardless. And you don't need Orcish Bowmasters to do that. Now, these are maybe controversial, if you want to call it statements. I just don't think this is a good card in a non-blue deck. Outside of maybe DNT, which is a very different deck for what's worth. They play Yorion. So they get additional value out of Bowmasters. And DNT is different also because DNT is really a control deck, if you think about it, this grand scheme of Legacy, because the classical control decks are almost non-existent. Like they have the problem that I think this version of the list has, which is you cannot close the game fast enough. You're just kind of dirtle. In my opinion, you have to be able to win, so to speak, and you can't allow your opponent to get back into the game because the decks now, especially the combo decks, are so resilient that if you give your opponent a few turns, they more likely than not will be able to make a comeback. And I just like I said, I don't think you can just dirtle against these combo decks and not have a fast kill, which this list lacks. So if I had to choose between these two lists, and I mentioned this on my Discord, I would rather play the depths version if you don't want to play natural order, because at least you have a way to go over the top. This deck can go over the top with cat, but again, to make cat good, in my opinion, you need reclaimer, and if you have a white, like you've already probably won against most fair decks, or more, or and even against the graveyard combo decks. It is why I believe. So I've been tracking these lists, like these Bowmaster, Wasteland, non-cradle or fewer cradles lists, and in roughly 25 attempts in the challenges, they have only three top eights. Uksung, this account has three by themselves in like a 1 month span. So you can do the math. I'm not somebody who puts too much weight for what it's worth on percentages and conversion rates, because I think that's skewed by player skill level and a bunch of other factors. But 3 out of 25 is not great, and this is more or less like 3 out of 6. All right. Enough about that. This is the list that we've been working on. I don't know if Crossroads is what I want. That could be the fourth natural order, but more or less, this is like taking what we've been building on this past week between Upa and myself. And shout out to Simon Ritter, who top aided his event as well. His monthly went. He went 4-0 in his event. For those who don't know Simon, he top aided with Fiend Artisan at Eternal Weekend 2023. So no stranger to the community. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked too much because we're already getting a late start. Let's just go ahead and just start jamming some games. But that's just kind of the quick history and why I don't believe you should be omitting natural order from your Cradle deck. Like, long story short, like I for whatever reason, people want to not win the game. And I just don't understand that. Like, natural order, as for the problems that it can sometimes have, especially against the top tier decks, Reanimator, for instance, you don't really need or want natural order. This card has a good job, does a good job of killing a lot of those random decks. You don't have to find out what their silly combo is that plays like 20 removal spells into like a late game bomb or whatever. You just counter 4, win the game. And similarly, for what it's worth, I think the Elves list, because it has a combo kill, can manage to do well too. I'm assuming you can dodge Bowmasters. I think that is a partial reason why, even Elves, like you want to call it classical Elves with Glimpse of Nature. Obviously I would play my Elvish Reclaimer over Nettle Sentinel, but that aside, even then you close the game fat quickly, and I just don't think you can afford to not do that in today's Legacy if you want to be competitive. It's why I think of the control decks, Jeskai Undoing is the one that has historically, when I say historically, I mean like here and there, done a little bit better because they have a way to close the game. Ooh, 3 lands. This is like pretty shaky, but I'll just keep. Like debated where to mold this because this is like mold 6 already, anyways. Now I'm really regretting it. Imagine playing against this deck without natural order. This matchup is just so much worse. Like, this matchup, for what it's worth, is difficult. Okay, we got a slammer white and then just hope they miss some removal here. God, that's so sure. We're probably losing game 1. We sort of need natural order in this matchup. At least game 1. This is, of the more popular decks, probably one of the most difficult. Because we have a lot of dead cards game 1. We have to pretty much win 2 post-board games. Speaking of the devil, natural order. Come on down. arguments to be made that I'm supposed to just. Oof. Well, they would waste me anyways, I think, or maybe not. So if I didn't play this, I would have one creature less. They would hit the white, and then I only have the reclaimer. If they waste me, then it doesn't matter anyways. Then I only have two lands anyways. What am I doing here? I feel like we pitched a reclaimer, because I think I want the mana from the Finhorn. Cradle, Once Upon a Time, Green Sun Zenith, and Shepherd maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think they just wanted for another two drop. I don't know. That makes they just lost the game on the spot because of that. Do we want collector? Oof, probably not. Um, I think we want to just threaten lethal potentially as soon as possible with Shepherd. We have a Gris. I wonder we're supposed to just tick. Oh, they conceded. That's fine. Perfect. I was like debating whether I'm supposed to just tick down here, just like kill their things before it gets out of hand. All right. We stole game one again. How are you winning that game without natural order? Like you don't, in my opinion. Like if you're playing the grim list, right? Grim outlook too. Pun not intended. What are we doing here? Yeah. So in this specific case, I don't know if I want Crossroads. It almost feels like natural order number four is better here. But presume the thing about natural order number four is it plays into hate, like Grab Sacred Cage and whatnot. Now there's a slight asterisk. Our opponent dismissed play for what it's worth. I need a 1 second. Take a look at the sideboard map because I don't remember. Looks like boarding like Force of Vigor. I guess that makes sense. They probably have Cage. I don't think I like any of this other stuff. We probably have to keep it in the Shepherd as awkward as that is. Crossroads is probably very dangerous in this matchup in a bad way. So I'll probably just omit it. Would have loved for the fourth natural order here, but it's good sample size, right? Let's try this. There's an argument to be made. Maybe we were just like supposed to keep the thought seasons. Thought seasons is like very awkward on the draw too. They probably take the natural order. It's like the most scary card in the deck. The rest of the hand is like ultra redundant for what it's worth. If they have cage, like, I mean, I feel like you still take natural order, even if you have cage. Like maybe you take Dork here, I guess, or Once Upon a Time. Yeah, I mean, Hey Joff, how's it going? Missed my spiel a little bit earlier. Do we just want to hit land drops or just hit dorks? I guess we just hit dorks. I was just mentioning how I think if you want to build a cradle deck, you have to have a combo kill. Like if you don't want to play natural, depths is better than no combo kill. Even if there's some issues with that. Bowmaster, sure. I don't think we care. Wasteland proof here. Ugh. They gonna name Green Sun? That's the end of the world. They do that for what's worth. I think this card is like super overrated. If you're, yeah, I think this card is personally is very overrated. The decks that should be playing are ones that don't wear blue or black. This was, of course, on cue. I draw another Green Sun. How awkward is that? So do I just ramp here? Probably. That turns on their. Unfortunately, that turns on their wasteland. But if they wasteland me, then I do the second one. And then this looks really bad, right? Like it shut off my card, but not really. They probably take the safekeeper. Yeah. This is what I mean by flute is not that good. Like my deck is about to be turned on. They're gonna waste me here, but if they do, that's fine. I'm just gonna get another one. Oh, they better waste. I'm getting a reclaimer. They're like screwed otherwise. If they know what's good for them, they're gonna waste here. Yep. Like this flute's looking real bad now. Like this is what I mean by this card is like pretty overrated. It's the decks like I said that should be playing is like a lands that doesn't have any other options and can power out turn one. Okay, so this card literally is not doing anything now. I'll just pass. There's no need. Well, let me think about that. Do I expose my four? No, probably not. I don't think that's worth it. I think the information is worth more. They put, okay. Um. Oof. Okay. Sure. I don't think I care. Do I do it now? I don't think so. I'm still at 15. That's pretty good. People saving their STPs are hilarious to me because they're just dead at any second too. Natural order. That's an awkward card. Question is, do we kill the guide here or somehow kill the Ajani? This is gonna kill us over time, but maybe this does too. Three, six, eight. We have a Traxa. Or did I? Oh my god, I miscounted because it's disruptor flute. Actually, what I should have done it was maybe get Gris. No, I think White's probably better. They probably are saving all their swords. Yeah, the way they're playing, that's pretty good. Now I'm like regretting not killing this. But the guy, maybe we just die anyways to the guide assault. Ugh. Well, I don't think we can beat that. I think we leave that alone. We don't want the Ajani to flip. We just auto lose. Actually, it doesn't matter because of the bombardment. So we probably should have just blocked. So I think in hindsight, because we can't really beat an Ajani, but there's a slim chance we can beat the guide, we hold the snuff out for the Ajani. The guide of souls we technically can beat. Maybe not right away or within a few turns probably. All right, now super regret. I super regret not killing the thing now. Maybe the force of it can get us back in this game. This thing whiffed too. How does this look? One, two, three, four, five, six. So we can cast both. pass. I wonder if I do this on their upkeep. Make them pay the static prison first. What am I doing here? I probably want to just like destroy that while I can. Oops, cancel. Very odd that they didn't sack. Maybe they just like didn't hold priority. This game is like multiple asterisks now. I did not deserve to win this game. My opponent like made multiple game losing mistakes. Um, if I played it correctly, it's a lot closer, but there's no guarantee that Atraxa gets there. But because my opponent messed up there, I got a free win. That's how I view it. Let me use the restroom real quick. All right. Let's continue. We 2-0'd here, but some questionable plays on both sides. The not wastelanding us game one too was another thing that cost our opponent. But I should not have exposed for what's worth my guy's cradle as well. I probably should have just gone white into reclaimer, hold the cradle. If they don't answer, because we know about the wasteland. If they don't answer, then we go natural order for Atraxa. I think what we're trying to figure out tonight is can do we have to register the first fairy to feel safe against reanimator and to a lesser extent oops. I lean towards yes because I feel like any fair game against reanimator you should win. Against concordant crossroads versus a fourth natural order, Fourth natural order in a vacuum is probably stronger, but there is some diminishing returns. Namely, you don't really want to draw multiple. You don't want to play into cage if they have it. Um, or to a lesser extent, like containment freeze or something like that. Crossroads is a very explosive card, but sometimes dictated by what else is in your hand. Mulligan. Reasonable. The thing I like about Shepard is it's good early and it's good late, which is hard to do in this deck. Not that many cards that do that. Green Sun is like an example of one. Um, I think we lead with Shepard. Question here is, do we want them to Daze of Reclaimer? Probably not, in case they bolt our Shepherd. So we're just gonna go this. And if they don't bolt the Shepherd, then they're staring out lethal next turn. Like, then they're a lot of trouble. This is what I love to do, right? Just vomit my hand turn two. And if they don't have an answer, they just lose the game, right? We're threatening literal lethal next turn, right? You don't kill me this turn or answer the Allosaurus Shepherd or the Guy's Cradle right now, you lose the game. I wonder what's going on. Did you just not see I have lethal on board? Turn three kill? I guess not. This is what I mean by good early and good late. And by late, turn three. We did not see much, so I don't even know how I'm supposed to board. I doubt I need Collector Oof against them. Um, if I were to guess, maybe they'll sneak and show, right? Because they don't have any kind of interaction. It's tough when I don't know what their deck is on. How should I board here? Let me think. By process of elimination, they had no interaction. They went turn one brainstorm, looking for some answer. Did nothing turn two. Like I said, in the dark, I'm almost tempted to think because they had, let's see, what land did they play? Volcanic Island, and then they played Tarn with no creatures, no removal, no wasteland. That screams sneak and show to me, but like, if I'm wrong, then we're probably losing this game. We'll see. I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna head for sneak and show. Like I said, no removal, no permission. Granted, permission turned off by Shepard, but you should be forcing turn one Dork anyways if you're a fair deck. Um, Safekeeper probably not. Do I want to do this? Do I want to cut a land? Maybe cut a Dork. We'll see. I like debated cutting a land here, but if they're on Sneak and Show, Blood Moon is like pretty common. this is like reasonable. If they are on Sneak and Show, if they're not, we're probably losing this game. Rug Delver. I think they are on Sneak and Show. I believe they are on Sneak and Show. Like my read was again that I feel a lot better here. I feel like they have Veil up, and that's what the pedal is for. The question is like, do I walk into the Veil here? They have C's, and they can just force my thought C's. If they Veil here, that's a little different. I think in the dark, I probably want Reclaimer. I may regret this, but we'll see. Okay, I'm okay with that. The thing is, like, there's some I have to think about what they have in their hand, why they would play Lotus Petal. It could just be a bluff too, for what it's worth. And I didn't want to get Shepherd because then they will guarantee to force me if they have it. Mm, I'm gonna run this into days and see if they do anything. It's gonna be awkward if my opponent has a soul land here into sneak attack. That's what it looks like, or not. That's very odd. Okay, that like changes things now. I think the line here is I'm gonna hold the Landlord or Elves for the Force of Vigor in case they have that, like the Omni line. Oh, is this a hard cast force here? I think if it is, I'm okay with that. It means the Green Sun is on. Sure, I'll pass here. The funny thing here is like, depending on our draw, a Shepherd here is like out of nowhere is pretty good. If I had played the Landlord Wars and committed, um, then I have lethal. The problem with that though is I'm like a little bit naked to a sweeper, and I wanted to hold the Force of Vigor, right? Ooh, I could get Saga here, and then it triggers twice, shuts off sneak attack. That might be worth it. Cause if I get the Arbor here, it doesn't really accomplish much, anyways. I think I like that plan. It's gonna trigger and then trigger again, and then they're on a pseudo one turn clock. Sure, and I played around removal, I guess. Um, I don't think I care about the construct token. I think having the mana is more relevant. Actually, cancel. There's 3 mana here. Mm, I feel like we need to hold a force. Just pass. And we hold a reclaimer here too. They're on a 1 turn clock now. Okay. Did we do anything? Maybe we just activate this right now. They have a veil. Like, what the hell could they possibly have? A consign? Consign doesn't even work. I think it's triggered, right? I guess we just do it just in case. It doesn't matter. Okay, that was easy enough. For what it's worth, this is an asterisk on this game too. I feel like I probably outplay my opponent. Let me get some water. Harmony Woods. Keep. Just insane redundancy in our hand. Probably just take a green sun. Yeah. Actually, let's take this Elvish Mystic. They Bowmaster is kind of bad for us. Yeah. We need to draw land. I kept it because it was all 1 drops, but on the draw and we missed 2. Need to land here. Not the land I wanted. Just saw F6. I'm not gonna do anything. They're probably trying to like kill our mana again. If they don't kill our mana here, then we're okay. That's heads up from our opponent. And we're in business. We need to get that second land drop though. I think the disaster scenario there is like force into waste and we just lose. Murktide. We can beat a Murktide from this spot. Don't care. If they Kaido us, that's kind of bad though. Bargoyf. Uh, we can beat that from this board state. The reason why I didn't play the Green Sun is I think they have Force in hand. They're gonna force the first Green Sun. We have the second Green Sun to kill the Murktide. I think this is a force block from us because I think they have Force in hand. Oof. That is not what I wanted to see. It's almost worse that we drew it here. I could get a Shepherd. The problem is they probably have Bowmasters in hand, and we can't allow this to attack. And we drew the Talon Gates. So we're probably in trouble. And we're one mana off from going Green Sun for one into Grist too. I need to think about what is the correct play here. We run this out. It gets forced. We have to endurance ourselves, block the Murktide region. If they have a Bowmaster, we just lose too. I think we have to pray that they don't have it. I think they do. Yep. Very awkward. We missed that land drop, and that cost us the game. It's not gonna matter. They have a Bowmaster in hand. I think that's their last card. Hmm. We have to shuffle the Grist back in, block the Murktide region. We're gonna have to main phase here. Technically, Atraxa gets us out of here too. Like, oof, that's not what I want to see. Oh, I screwed up. Why did I do that? Oops. Okay, that was bad by me. I'm supposed to block here, and then yeah, terrible. I think I stabilized too. Oh well. All right, let's see what we want to do. I think we want crossroads here. I think this card's probably insane in this matchup. Their deck's pretty slow. I'm just gonna keep the natural order package in. I don't think they have cage. Maybe if they do, so be it. I don't like Thoughtseize. Like it's very board centric. So they gave us a game and we gave it right back. I think there's a decent chance we stabilize there, but they can always touch top deck Bowmasters there too for the last point of damage. So let's just say we're supposed to have lost that game regardless because our opponent did miss lethal. I think we want to land here, so I'm not gonna fetch first. Just hit land drops and we probably win this game, this match. Thoughtseize maybe. Netherboy. I think that's pretty bad against us. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go white into Reclaimer, and we're just like slamming bombs, right? Ideally, we don't need to run this natural order into run this natural order here into what are they popping here? Oh, the fin horn, sure. We're gonna unlock our mana here with the Reclaimer, and then hold white up to protect everything else. Maybe they Bowmasters this Arbor here, but if they do, then we just pitch to white. They edict us. Interesting. Hmm. I feel like we pitched that, but then we can't cast natural order if that's the case. This is 2, 3, 4. We can wait a turn, I guess. I mean, you better know we have Bog in our deck. Better know we have Bog in our deck. And we have that too. There's no reason to like, especially since our opponent has decided to leave in endurance. Sorry, leave in Nethergoys. There's no reason to pitch that endurance there, which is suddenly a premium value. Since they left in the Nethergoys. Force, yeah, that's fine. I think the game is over already. For what's worth. bash again. They want to block, they can. It's a nightmare, literally. They're gonna waste us. That's fine. Don't think I care. It's game. I don't want to pitch any of the reclaimers. Actually, that's probably a mistake. We can pitch a reclaimer and then maybe get a safe seal and safekeeper. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're like miles ahead. Reanimator in a way is helping us because them the card that is better against Reanimator is Fair Macabre, and that means people in theory should be running less Cage. Now, Oops being good is bad for us because Cage is better against Oops. Speaking of the devil. They saw our card, so we're gonna fetch that first. Thin it out. Once upon a time, this hand luckily is like somewhat resilient to Cage. I feel pretty good about this spot so far. Now we got to avoid like drawing cards that are weak to Cage, but they dazed with no pressure, and we're just gonna. If we draw a one drop here, we're just going double spell. If we don't draw, probably have to be priced into drawing the playing the white. If they edict us here, so be it. We're just gonna curve out. I'm not wasting mana. Sure. Ooh, that is an interesting card. Unfortunately, it doesn't benefit us right now because we go Crossroads, Mystic, and then I guess maybe Mystic for once. But we can just go Mystic and once anyways. Question is like, do we run the Endurance in 2 days here? I feel like the answer is yes. For two reasons. One, we want to cut off their Murktide Regent. And two, we have defense up against Tamio. Okay, so they just have it all, I guess. We're not out of it yet. Like, they're down to one card, and we're drawing bombs. We're not. Luckily, there's nothing good to take. They probably take the ones upon a time. The Crossroads is extremely scary, though, for our opponent. Mm, I think I'm just going to Crossroads here. For what it's worth, the crossroad being a natural order here would be bad too. It's possible we want something else instead of crossroads, but that slot is meant to be a haymaker against Mystic Forge that maps against this. For what it's worth, we're probably in trouble now. Hmm. We gotta cut their draws. Like we're behind. Oh, they probably have hardcast force. That's a bummer. Actually, let's attack first. See what they do. Not having the drawing the talent gates here was kind of awful. I think we bog our opponent though. Like it's awkward because the part of the appeal of a concordant crossroads is it allows Wild the Reliquary to protect itself, but we drew the talent gates. Oh, this cage is killing us here. Or actually, it really is a Tamulus killing us. I think we've lost, unfortunately. We needed to establish a threat earlier, but that's okay. It's really awkward that we can't play Snuff out in this matchup. Well, that's not entirely true. We could, but it's like very situational. Hmm. We're out of fetchables, is the reason. And we can't fetch a cage through a cage that arbors. I don't hate this card. It was just a little bit unfortunate that the we drew the Talon Gates. Otherwise, the Crossroads would have been good there against their Fatal Push. I'm not sure what it would be better for what it's worth. Really, the clue tokens is what lost or won the game for our opponent, and we had a small window where we just needed a pressure and we could not, or draw something like a safekeeper. A card that could be decent against Cage is the what's called the Archer. I forgot what it's called already. Web Strike Elite. The problem with that card is I kind of want that card to map against. I sort of want that card to map against Mystic Forge, and it's not particularly good against Mystic Forge in my opinion. It's probably over. Yeah, it's a tough break. We're doing pretty well too. Tough break. Hey, decent. Thank you for the sub. TBD. It would have been good there, but we drew the Talon Gates, which should have protected the Wilder Reliquary. So I don't know if we want to call that good or bad. My guess is ideally that slot is something that's good against Mystic Forge, but passable against some other decks. I don't know what that would be. A card that is like kind of interesting, I guess. Um, Maybe it's just second grist. Like I don't know, but not good against Mystic Forge though. I have to think. What is the overlap between Mystic Forge and Dimir? What is the overlap between Mystic Forge and Dimir? Hey, Ramar, how's it going? It's only fitting I'm playing Concordant Crossroads today because we have a pre-modern superstar here, Romario, in the chat. The good thing is we do have spare slots. We have this elf synergy going on too. That the problem is I don't know what other elf cards I can play that like fits the billing, so to speak, right? Like I guess I could play a four shepherd, but then it's like kind of situational too. Also, we never really had mana for pump there. Cloudpost. Ugh. I feel like all the Cloudpost players in the world would be better off if they just played our deck. We have K command, but this is like very awkward. I guess we want the explosive mana. We're gonna go turn to Collector Oof them. This matchup is just like two ships passing in the night. Ooh, what kind of hand did they keep? Yuck. I This reminds me. The one thing I if I were to change ban and restricted if for legacy, the top priority for a long time was that interaction with MDFCs with Upsal spells. But planar Nexus is getting up there. It's just annoying me that that they can do this shenanigans. Speaking of the devil, this should not be allowed, in my opinion. Sure. What are they fluting here? Green Sun or Natural Order? Karn Silex. Good thing we have the Art Collector. Romario, I gotta convince you to play this deck. Why is it or less? This is annoying. They besage you? Ugh, it's annoying. Can't pay life or cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Okay, so fetches are off. Is that right? Yeah, I guess fetches are off. It's annoying, but all right. Get that Cradle in here. Green Sun, Once Upon a Time, and probably Finhorn Elves. Get three here. That's so funny. Thanks for the heads up, Parker. Or do we just get the Reclaimer? This could be like relevant down the road. Let me regret this doing this, but all right, we're gonna protect the collector with at all costs here. Uh, where's the Sylvan Safekeeper? Get the Reclaimer out there. It's more damage, I guess. And then Bash. Feel pretty good at this point. Like our opponent has no pressure. We have protected collector oof and everything more or less, and lethal next turn. Right, that's 10, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, they're just dead. Karn, sure. GG's. Too little, too late. You don't know about the Allosaurus Shepherd in my hand. All right, we're looking pretty good here in a matchup. Shepherd's not even supposed to be good, and it is. Get this endurance out of here. Force of Vigor seems good. Needle's probably really good. Saga. Crossroads is probably insane in this kind of matchup. They have just no defense. Get the Macabre out of here. Grist. We care about their walkers. I feel like we just attacked, right? Like, I don't. How many cards can we pull out here? Town gates probably not. We theory cut a land, cut a forest. Actually, cutting forest might be dangerous because they have that Karn Silex. Maybe we just want to cut a fetch. No, but fetch turns on our thought seizes though. What led you to including that incentive? I wanted a way to punish. Great question. And it kind of applies to this matchup. These kind of matchups, like the planar nexus matchups, would just have no defense, is all offense, all payoffs. Where like the fourth natural order, they just can't stop either. But instead of natural order, I thought maybe I could just do better, just like turn all our creatures haste, right? Like, and they just they can't punish that because they don't have creatures of their own and just don't have any defensive mechanisms. That's the logic. What are we cutting here? I don't think that actually. Shepherd. Do we want Shepherd in this kind of matchup? I feel like white is probably bad in this matchup. White is probably bad in this matchup. If we're cutting white, we have the room now for the grist, and then we just like Shepherd pump like kill them maybe, and keep it in all our lands. I don't hate that. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's just like if you're just not gonna play any defensive mechanisms, I'm just gonna like have my own offensive like bombs. Bad in situations like this, obviously, where I don't have many creatures. Turn three natural order, no defense. Crossroads kind of a blank here. Saga probably too slow as well. This is a mole. This is better. Keep. Yeah, I know. I told you, Romario. Like I actually have two 5-0s with this Crossroads, like in older iterations of the deck. You just like do some insane things against control too. They can't stop it. I think this is probably too slow here. I'll take the Mystic. Go turn one C's. Let's check out your hand. Excuse me. Oh, do nothing hand. Interesting. They got 4 mana here. Five, six, seven. I think we just take the ring now. Ignore the dismember. Do nothing hand. Interesting. You got to be kidding me, man. That's annoying. It is, but not after I thought seized them. Unfortunately, the Thoughtseize bug reared its head. And they're gonna go into Ugin next turn. That's annoying. We should have been pretty ahead, but now we're dead. Like this dismember is live too. Unfortunate. This is why I think Wasteland's too slow. Like people are just trying to turn one us now, or turn two us. These are the cursed totem. What in the world? I guess they're scared of Nadu. That's very odd. Interesting. Might as well. What do I want here? Neither of them matter, but in case I turn off the Curse Toner, do I want a Shepherd? It's not even lethal. That's the problem. Or do I want a Reclaimer? Probably the Shepherd for payoff. I don't know. I feel like if I would, like I said, MDFCs would are the top of my list, but Plater Nexus is a card that I just think is a disgusting card that I would rather not get rid of personally. Like there's too many soul lands now, and if you have to being forced to play Wasteland is kind of dumb to me. But that's my personal opinion. If you're not gonna ban the payoffs, like get rid of this card in my opinion. All right, we're just dead. I strongly disagree. I would rather hit the enablers instead of the payoffs. And if you're not gonna ban Tomb, and you're not gonna ban Cloudpost or whatever, like this is so problematic in my opinion. Like, why not hit the neighbors? Why are we still? We're just dead. Let's concede. We can't beat this nonsense. And the dumb thing too, in my opinion, is the keyring decks aren't even weak against Force of Vigor or Artifact Hate. Like their whole land is like non-artifact, so you can't really attack it aside from Wasteland. But I don't know. I'm slightly biased too, but I don't think forcing every deck to play Wasteland is the right move. What are we doing here? I think we leave it alone and just like hope this works. This just felt very shaky for us. Worth the crossroads. Mm. There's no payoff, but we do have disruption. I think we just hope we draw a top deck well. We have acceleration. We just have the top deck. What a five. The thing is, like, what are we looking for? And I don't think we have like many great draws. So that's why I'm just keeping this. Like, we're just not gonna mold the C's, right? Like, they can beat C's. Probably supposed to fetch Bayou here, but I messed up. Hmm. Interesting. All right. Planar Just get rid of this card, please. Sure. Let's set the draw step. Oops. Oh, that is like hilarious, actually. I like effed up royally because I'm supposed to kill this, and I drew the collector to shut it off, anyways. Oh, but actually, you can only activate as a sorcery, so maybe it's fine. No, no, no. It's so sorcery too. So I thought they could just do it on upkeep, but I'm gonna force a vigor this. Get this out of here. The thing is, I don't want them to ring either, so maybe ring is just correct here. Can we get there? Our clock is anemic. Bog. Okay, this mistake number one from our opponent. Bog. Mistake number one. Oops. Okay. They have 4 mana now. That one thing is gonna be annoying once they get it out. I feel like we need a saga here. And like to turn off whatever potential outs they have. Dismember maybe? We'll pitch the Bayou. What's 4 mana? I mean, they can't dismember anyways. But oh, I guess they could do that. We care. I feel like we leave it. We don't care about the risk. We're just gonna pitch. We gotta turn off whatever nonsense planewalkers they might have. So it's either Karn at this point or Ugin, depending what they do here. I guess Karn. Okay. Why does this create white too? That's what I hate. Sure. Um, I guess we get. Do we need Karn or we need Ugin here? Probably Karn. Some more random nonsense. Let's go. I guess kill the Karn, attack them. Sure. I think we got this. Pass turn. They're running out of outs. That's do nothing. Do you have any black relevant Thoughtseize? I guess that's it. Mm, should we get creature? I guess that's the most damage. One, two, three, four plus eight. That's exactly 12. They're dead. All right. Punish the these vigilantes of legacy, right? Abusing the mana bases. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and hopefully we can clean out with the 4-1. So I'm thinking about the previous match that we lost, and the thing is, like, Cage is kind of bad, right? Against bad for us if they bring it out. So I don't know if I want to play the fourth natural for that reason. But maybe the first Kenai is like reasonable. This is a good win, I think, for us being Cloudpost, which I don't really want to play against. Like, our deck does not attack greedy mana bases particularly well. But it's good to see us get up that win there. Like we couldn't really stop any of the shenanigans that they were up to, right? Um, I really do not want to lose tempo the way we did there. It's kind of embarrassing, but maybe we just play the first Kenai. Um, just like a generically good card that we could just board in a lot of matchups. The Crossroads is like a little bit dangerous, and it didn't even like what I'm realizing is, and I was afraid of this is in these low resource games where we're the beatdown against these combo decks. Like they tend to be low resource games too, where Crossroads doesn't do anything. All right, time to vomit our hand. I think he's probably on either that. Ugh, what is going? Oh, they're on green white depths or lands maybe. Odd. Oh, why couldn't we have had this last turn? That's awkward. Return depths and they return. Oh, they're playing Ali's like Golgari Lands list. Do we give them the saga? Probably. You can't stop it anyways. Oh, this is a pain. Mm-hmm. What did they bring back? Baseju and Depths. I think we just play this and pass. I'm gonna dare them alone. I don't think they will. Okay. Ooh, that's a mistake. I realize. Oh, shoot. Okay, I misclicked. I'm supposed to keep the reclaimer, and then I like didn't click through the fetch there. Very awkward. I guess no harm done. We freaking drew the reclaimer anyways. In a way, it almost helped us. Not gonna. We cannot afford them to waste us here. We need. Well, let me think. What's the permutation here? If we draw a Dryad Arbor, then the Cradle's live. So we're gonna play towards that out. So close. So close. We can't attack here. We'll just pass. We're so close. They're gonna name Reclaimer, hopefully, with the needle. We wanted them to loam, and they did not. They're gonna waste us, I think. No blocks. We let this go. They waste us on upkeep. We just pay for it on upkeep, I guess. I don't think we're doing anything right now. Nice. Ooh, oh. I almost threw that game away right now, but with a misclick. Thank goodness. Time collector. Oof. Fetch. They want to get Caracas, so be it. I don't actually think I care. Sure. They said they forgot it to add Caracas to their deck. All right, they conceded. All right, we got the 4-1. What would I change here? Probably the crossroads did not feel well. I mean, if I'm being honest, like as much as I really want to play this card just because it's fun, I don't think it's optimal. Like, it's somewhat contingent on you having a threat, and it kind of came up against Delver where we did not. Now, I would have loved to have another relevant card against. They conceded. Like they're dead to Atraxa. They don't have Caracas in their deck, and for those who don't know, Carry Sonox values their time, and they just didn't want to play either a game or a match or a league without in what they probably feel is a suboptimal list. Like they said they forgot the Caracas. I'm just gonna assume that they want to add it and just maybe drop the league or something like that. It is not unusual for Sonox to concede after one game, for what it's worth. Uh, my most recent 5-0 actually that happened as well. They just made a mistake on turn one, conceded the match. So that's the long story short. They value their time, which more power to them. I totally get that. Also, some people don't want to play after a mistake, right? They're on tilt. I don't know if that's the case. I actually don't think so. I think it's they just value their time. All right. With the list, the 8 dorks, I don't know if that's excessive. I just feel like consistency, consistency, consistency. I am going to like pull out my hair if we lose because we can't activate Shepherd because I'm like greedy on the dorks or something like or can't cast natural order because I went greedy on the dorks. I think 8 plus 4 Green Sun for turn one 12 turn one plays is is probably ideal. And it's not like we have anything I'm dying to play anyway. So like, I think 3 is probably the sweet spot. I think 2 is probably the sweet spot here for Sylvan Safekeeper. 3 is probably the sweet spot for once. 4 endurance. I think 1 grace is good enough. I don't think we need hoof. It wouldn't have done anything in the loss that we had. Um, I think where we potentially have room for improvement is these 2 slots. Fairy's better if we're trying to not get cheese. Um, But the problem is, I think the one matchup I'm a little bit nervous about is the key ring matchup, and like Thoughtseize can only buy so much time. Initially, I thought maybe we have crop rotation per wasteland. The problem with that is I don't think a single wasteland is enough against key ring. You kind of have to play multiples. I don't know what cross application there is. This definitely felt like it was a little bit weak because it needs another threat, right? Now, maybe we were unlucky because, like I said, we drew the Talon Gates when the white would have been good, but maybe the answer is just play the what's it called? Play a Kenai Curator and just for like another relevant threat, right? In case they shut off white for whatever reason too. I have to think about that. But other than that, anybody have any questions? Here are my socials again. I think we had a pretty solidly overall. And to recap, the beginning of this stream, I actually talked about the different Cradle builds that I've been top 8ing. more or less has been, I guess, four different variants, but three of them have one thing in common, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Maybe there's a mainly that there's a combo kill. Elves has obviously glimpse of nature and natural order. We have natural order. Bomb, who top aided, has dark depths. I think the one list I would highly discourage people from playing is the what I call the worst version of this list, which they cut natural order in my opinion for little gain in my opinion because you have no way to go over the top of like a DNT control decks, ancient tomb decks. Like you just, in my opinion, have a m- much weaker offense, and you can't punish decks like Keyring otherwise. But that's neither here nor there. Um, Anybody have any questions for me? This list felt quite good today. We even beat a planar Nexus deck without Wasteland, so I feel good about that. We did lose against what's it called Tempo Black, but I did think we got a little bit unlucky. We drew the Talon Gates. But maybe like I said, this is supposed to be maybe that's supposed to be the keen eye curator, right? Just as another threat or Gris even. I don't think I hate Gris either. Just a second Gris out of the sideboard just to contest the board, so to speak. I have to think about it, but main deck felt good to me for what it's worth. Like, and there's nothing I'm like dying to play aside from maybe the first curator. But again, I think Shepard was turned on multiple times and helped us beat Sneak and Show. It was relevant against the other matchup too, the Keyring matchup where we had lethal. So I think this is probably optimal. Like we probably want to play as many elves as possible, like minus the mandatory nose, mainly endurance. Like I'm not even sure Gris is a automatic for what's worth, but endurance, oof, white, and safekeeper I think are the only must non elves we have to play. So we'll leave it alone. Anybody have any questions? That felt pretty good. We went 4-1. Lost unfortunately to arguably one of our better matches, but I think pretty overall pretty happy with this list. If there are no questions, I will go ahead and raid. We'll raid, I guess, the EEBFG. All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out tonight. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I am updating. Quick plug. I'm updating and writing a guide right now. Updating my Patreon, but writing a guide for Eternal Weekend that is in the works right now. It should hopefully be out next, or I should hopefully be done writing next week. But it will be cross posted on my Patreon. But also, if you are a Baron of Andreas Peterson, Echo Baronin, then it will be there as well. So look out for that, I guess. There are advantages to joining both. So obviously if you have a Baron of Andreas Peterson, you have access to some of his other articles as well. um but if you subscribe via my Patreon, you'll get daily updates, which will not be the case the other way around. But the good thing is I probably would be less motivated to write this early if not for Andreas. So shout out to him for giving me the opportunity. But keep a lookout for that. I think that will help anybody who is interested in either playing this deck for Eternal Weekend or beating this deck for Eternal Weekend. So I don't know what the solid answer is to Forge. I almost feel like my wins are either one of the following categories. My opponent misplayed, which I don't want to rely on. My opponent's deck hit the fail rate, which sometimes does happen with that deck. Or when I did play Wasteland, I will admit it was quite good in the matchup. But the problem with Wasteland is it's quite bad everywhere else, in my opinion. I don't think Wasteland is like what our deck wants to be doing. Now, maybe it means we have to, bite the bullet, so to speak, take our medicine and play Wasteland for the Forge matchup. My experience is not very good against the other decks. Or I rather have Gaia's Cradle. So that is the quick spiel on Forge. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and raid. Thank you everyone for hanging out tonight.